Before the day releases its final thoughts, before the mind finishes sorting what no longer needs sorting, there is a quieter place waiting for you, a place beneath noise, beneath urgency, beneath the constant movement of the surface world. Tonight, you don't need to go anywhere to find it. You only need to listen. As your body begins to rest, imagine the earth below you, vast and patient, holding its calm through ages you will never have to measure. Beneath your feet, beneath every place you've ever known, there is warmth, balance, and a silence that has never been broken. Nothing down there is in a hurry. Nothing is unfinished. This space was created for moments like this, and you found it here on The Gentle Physicist, where curiosity is quiet and science moves at the pace of rest. You don't need to stay awake for this journey to work. The story will move slowly, offering wonder when the mind wants it and softness when the body asks for it. Tonight is about drifting downward, not to escape, but to feel supported, about discovering how calm the world truly is when you move past the surface. So let your breathing soften, let the day loosen its grip, and when you're ready, without deciding to be ready, we'll begin a gentle descent into the quiet depths of the earth. Beneath your feet, something ancient is quietly glowing, not with fire or danger, but with patience that has lasted longer than memory. Tonight, you are invited to drift downward in imagination, slowly, safely, without effort. The earth is not just ground beneath you, but a layered home, calm and steady. As you settle into stillness, picture yourself gently descending as if the planet itself is welcoming you inward. There is no rush here, no falling, only a slow sinking through layers shaped by time. Each layer feels like a quiet room, stacked one beneath another, each holding its own warmth and story. Above you is the busy surface world, but below you is a place where movement whispers instead of shouts. With every imagined step downward, your breathing softens, matching the planet's unhurried rhythm. This is a journey measured not in distance, but in comfort, curiosity, and trust. Somewhere around this moment, many listeners choose to follow this voice again, returning night after night. If that feels right to you, you can gently make that choice now, without moving more than a finger. There is nothing demanding your attention here, only the quiet suggestion of rest and wonder. Below, the layers grow older, quieter, and more mysterious, untouched by sunlight or surface noise. They have waded through ages of change, holding their secrets with endless calm. You don't need to understand them yet, only to feel that nothing here means harm. As the descent continues, a deeper warmth begins to appear, steady and reassuring. And just ahead, hidden far from light, something even more ancient waits in silence. Everything feels slow, safe, and patiently waiting. The earth has a heartbeat, not one you can hear with your ears, but one you can sense in the slow, steady way the planet lives beneath you. It is a rhythm measured in deep time, moving so gently that most people never notice it at all. As you rest, imagine that quiet pulse traveling through layers of stone and heat, steady and patient, never rushing, never stopping. Just knowing it exists can feel strangely comforting, like realizing the ground beneath you is alive in the calmest possible way. This heartbeat does not race or change with emotion. It follows its own ancient pace, shaped by forces that have been working since long before the first human breath. Deep inside the earth, heat rises and falls. Materials shift, and energy flows in slow circles. These movements are so gradual that a single beat can take thousands of years to complete. And yet, they never pause. The planet continues its quiet rhythm, holding everything above it with unwavering steadiness. As you imagine this pulse, your own breathing may begin to soften. The mind often mirrors what it senses, even in imagination. Each slow beat invites your thoughts to loosen, to drift, to stop pressing so hard. There is comfort in knowing that something so massive can move with such gentleness. The earth does not hurry, and it does not need to. It has all the time it could ever require. If this calm discovery feels good to you, you can gently like this video, helping more quiet minds find their way here tonight. There is no urgency in that action, only a small moment of connection, shared softly and without effort. Far below, the heartbeat continues, steady and unseen, and as it travels through deeper layers, it begins to change in subtle ways. Pressure increases, materials behave differently, and the rhythm grows more powerful, yet somehow even calmer. As that deep pulse carries on, a quiet question lingers in the background, waiting to be explored. How does this ancient rhythm transform the farther down you go? Imagine the earth not as a single solid mass, but as a series of gentle layers, resting one beneath another like a long, peaceful dream. Each layer has its own character, its own quiet purpose, and as you drift downward in your thoughts, the transition between them feels soft and unhurried. There are no sharp edges here, only gradual change, like colors blending at dusk. The upper layers feel familiar, closer to the surface world you know. But as you move deeper, everything begins to feel slower, heavier, and more still. The layers seem to cradle one another, sharing warmth and pressure in perfect balance. Nothing is chaotic. Nothing is out of place. It's as if the planet was designed to be calm at its core, holding itself together with patience rather than force. As you picture these layers, your mind may begin to wander less. Thoughts that once jumped quickly from one idea to another now move more gently, settling into place. Each layer you imagine passing through feels like letting go of another small tension. The world above grows distant, quieter, less important. Down here, there is only depth, time, and a soothing sense of order. Somewhere in this imagined descent, many listeners find themselves fully relaxed, bodies heavy, minds floating. If that's happening to you, there's nothing you need to do at all. Just allow the layers to continue unfolding beneath you, one after another, endlessly patient. And yet, as peaceful as these layers feel, they are only the beginning. Because deeper still, beyond the ones you can easily picture, lies a layer so unusual that it challenges everything you think you know about solid ground. A place where the familiar rules begin to soften, and the earth reveals a stranger, quieter side of itself. Many people imagine the inside of the earth as a wild place filled with raging fire and endless chaos. It's an image shaped by movies, stories, and dramatic ideas passed along over time. But as you drift deeper in thought, that picture begins to soften. The reality beneath the surface is far calmer than most expect, shaped not by violence, but by balance. There is heat here, yes, but it does not behave like open flames. Instead, it moves slowly, gently, guided by pressure so immense that even a solid rock can flow without breaking apart. Nothing explodes or crashes. Everything follows quiet rules written over billions of years. The earth does not burn itself from the inside. It warms itself, carefully, patiently, like embers held deep within a stone hearth. As this idea settles in, fear naturally fades. The planet is not a chaotic furnace waiting to erupt. It is a carefully layered system where energy is shared and controlled. Even the hottest regions are calm in their own way, moving with grace rather than destruction. This hidden order is one of the Earth's greatest strengths and one of its most comforting truths. When you realize this, your body may respond without you noticing. Shoulders soften, the jaw relaxes, the mind stops bracing for danger that was never really there. If this calm understanding feels reassuring, you can gently comment or simply stay present, allowing this quiet truth to settle in fully. At deeper still, the heat grows stronger, but so does the stillness. Pressure increases, movement slows, and chaos has no place to exist. And as the imagined descent continues, another question begins to rise softly in the distance. If the heat is not chaos, then what purpose does it truly serve? As you move deeper in your imagination, the warmth of the earth becomes more noticeable, yet it never feels harsh. There are no flickering flames here, no sudden bursts of energy. Instead, the heat exists as a quiet presence, steady and contained, spread evenly through layers of rock and metal. It feels less like fire and more like a deep, comforting glow, the kind that warms without demanding attention. This heat has been building patiently since the planet first formed. Some of it comes from ancient collisions, some from the slow decay of elements far below, all of it carefully held in place by immense pressure. Nothing escapes suddenly. Nothing rushes. The warmth simply remains, doing its work silently, supporting the movements above without ever revealing itself directly. As you rest with this idea, it becomes easier to understand why the Earth feels so stable. The heat does not try to rise quickly or break free. It moves at a pace so slow that a lifetime would barely notice the change. And in that slowness, there is reassurance. The planet knows how to hold its energy, just as you can learn to hold your thoughts more gently as the night deepens. If this sense of calm warmth feels grounding, you can softly like this moment in your own way, or simply remain here, breathing slowly, allowing the idea to settle. There is no expectation, only quiet companionship in this shared stillness. And yet, as calm as this heat feels, it plays an essential role. It shapes layers, guides movement, and prepares the way for something even more surprising deeper down. Because soon, the warmth you sense begins to behave in ways that challenge everything you expect from solid ground, leading you gently toward another hidden truth. Here, everything moves slower than time, as you usually feel it. Changes happen so gradually that motion becomes almost invisible, like watching a shadow creep across a quiet room. Deep inside the earth, processes unfold over millions of years, stretching moments until they feel endless. Nothing rushes forward. Nothing is left behind. The planet simply continues, patient and unbothered. Imagine standing still while continents slowly shift above you, unaware of their own movement. Rocks bend, heat drifts, layers adjust, all at a pace so gentle it feels like rest itself. This slowness has a calming effect on the mind. Thoughts that once felt urgent lose their sharp edges. Worries soften when placed beside something that has never needed to hurry. As you sink into this idea, your breathing may begin to mirror it. Slower, deeper, steadier. Time no longer feels like something chasing you. Instead, it stretches out, wide and forgiving. In this place, even change feels safe, because it arrives so slowly that nothing is ever sudden or overwhelming. Many listeners find comfort here, realizing they're allowed to move at their own pace as well. If this quiet perspective feels helpful, you can gently subscribe now, keeping these unhurried moments close whenever you need them. There is no pressure in that choice, only a soft invitation. Deeper still, the slowness increases. Movements become almost timeless, guided by forces older than memory. And as everything settles into this deep, patient rhythm, another calm curiosity begins to form. If time itself feels different here, what else changes as you continue? As you drift deeper, something unusual begins to happen. Sound, the familiar companion of daily life, slowly fades away. Vibrations that once traveled easily through air now struggle to move at all. Deep inside the earth, there is no echo, no sharp noise, no sudden interruption. Silence behaves differently here. It becomes thicker, softer, almost protective. Imagine the quiet you feel late at night, when the world finally settles and even distant sounds disappear. Now, deepen that feeling. Multiply it until silence feels like a gentle blanket resting over everything. In this place, sound does not rush or bounce. It dissolves. The planet absorbs it, holding everything in a calm, uninterrupted stillness. This kind of quiet has a powerful effect on the mind. Without sound, thoughts lose their urgency. There is nothing to react to, nothing demanding attention. The mind naturally turns inward, slowing, drifting, resting. And as this imagined silence surrounds you, your body responds too. Muscles loosen. The space behind your eyes softens. Everything feels held. If this deep quiet feels comforting, you can simply stay with it. Or if you wish, you can gently show appreciation in your own way, knowing that many others are finding this same calm alongside you. There is no need to move, no need to speak. Silence here asks for nothing. And yet, even in this quiet, something remarkable continues. Vibrations still pass through the planet in ways you cannot hear, carrying messages from one layer to another. These unseen movements reveal secrets about what lies ahead. And as you rest in this silence, a gentle curiosity emerges. If sound cannot reach here, how does the earth still communicate within itself? Even in this deep quiet, the earth is never empty. It remembers. Every shift, every movement, every slow change leaves a trace behind. Nothing is rushed away or forgotten. Deep inside the planet, history is stored not in words or images, but in pressure, layers, and subtle marks left over time. The Earth carries its memories patiently, holding on to them for billions of years. Imagine each layer as a page, gently pressed into place. Some pages are warm, some are dense, some are stretched thin by time, but all of them remain. When the planet trembles, even slightly, those memories respond. They guide vibrations, shape pathways, and reveal stories to those who know how to listen. In this way, the Earth quietly remembers its own past, from its fiery beginnings to its long periods of calm. As you rest with this idea, it may feel comforting to know that nothing meaningful is ever truly lost. Just as the planet holds its memories without effort, you don't need to cling tightly to every thought. The important ones settle naturally, while the rest can drift away. There is no pressure to hold on to anything right now. Many listeners find a sense of peace here, realizing that memory does not have to be loud or heavy to be real. If this feeling resonates, you can gently remain present or softly show appreciation, knowing this quiet space is shared with others, seeking the same calm. Deeper still, these memories become warmer, older, and more tightly held. Pressure increases, and the planet's recollections grow stronger, shaping everything above them. And as you continue this gentle descent, another soothing thought begins to surface. If the Earth remembers everything, how does it use those memories to protect what lives above? As you move deeper, the warmth you've been sensing begins to feel purposeful. It is no longer just a quiet glow, but something that gently watches over everything above it. Deep inside the Earth, warmth acts like a shield, steady and reliable, working constantly without ever being seen. It doesn't announce itself. It simply does what it has always done, holding balance in place. This warmth helps shape the planet's movements, guiding slow flows and gentle shifts that keep the surface alive and renewed. Without it, the Earth would become rigid and silent, unable to support the changing world above. Instead, this hidden heat allows life to continue, oceans to move, and land to slowly transform. It protects by allowing change to happen gradually, never all at once. As you rest with this thought, it may feel reassuring to know that protection doesn't always look active or forceful. Sometimes it looks like patience. Sometimes it looks like quiet consistency. The Earth does not guard life with urgency or fear. It protects through balance, through steady warmth that never tires. This idea often brings a deep sense of comfort. Just as the planet is protected from within, you too are supported in ways you don't always notice. There are systems quietly working in your favor even when you are resting. You don't need to manage them. You only need to allow yourself to settle. If this realization feels calming, you can gently acknowledge it in your own way or simply stay here, breathing slowly. The warmth below continues its work, constant and dependable. And as this sense of protection surrounds your thoughts, another quiet curiosity begins to form. If warmth can protect life above, what happens as it grows even deeper, closer to the planet's hidden center? You have drifted far now, deeper than most thoughts ever travel, and everything around you feels steady and calm. This is a threshold, a quiet boundary between what feels familiar and what waits beyond imagination. The layers above have softened your mind, slowed your breathing, and eased you into this moment. Nothing here feels sudden. Nothing feels uncertain. It is simply a gentle pause before going further. At this depth, the Earth feels more focused, as if all its patience gathers here. Movements are slower, warmth is stronger, and silence feels complete. The surface world, with its noise and urgency, feels impossibly distant. Down here, there is only time stretching outward, wide and unhurried. The planet seems to rest in itself, confident and composed. As you linger at this threshold, it's natural to feel a quiet sense of awe. You are standing at the edge of deeper understanding without needing to step forward yet. Just reaching this place is enough. Many listeners find that their thoughts fade almost completely here, replaced by a soft awareness and a sense of being held. If that's happening to you, there is nothing to adjust. This is exactly where you're meant to be. If this journey has felt grounding so far, you can gently or simply remain present, knowing this calm space is shared with countless others resting alongside you. There is no obligation to respond, only an open invitation to stay. Beyond this threshold, the Earth changes in subtle but powerful ways. Materials behave differently. Forces grow stronger, yet somehow more stable. And as you hover here in this peaceful pause, a final question from this descent quietly forms, ready to guide you onward. What lies beyond this boundary is not louder or harsher, but deeper still, waiting to be explored. As you continue downward, you arrive at a place that never truly rests, not because it is busy or restless, but because it is always gently moving, always quietly alive. This layer does not sleep, yet it never feels awake in the way the surface world does. Its motion is slow, steady, and deeply calm, like a long breath that never quite ends. Here, the earth shifts with patience rather than urgency. Solid rock flows so slowly, it feels almost still, guided by warmth and pressure working together in perfect balance. Nothing collides or crashes. Everything glides, stretched across spans of time so vast they are difficult to imagine. This endless motion has been happening for millions of years, shaping the world above without ever asking for attention. As you rest with this idea, the mind naturally softens. Knowing that something so powerful can move with such gentleness makes it easier to let go of inner tension. Thoughts that once felt sharp begin to slow, mirroring the calm pace below. There is no need to rush through the night. The earth itself is unhurried. Many listeners find this moment especially soothing, realizing that movement does not always mean noise or stress. Sometimes movement is quiet, steady, and supportive. If this realization feels comforting, you can gently acknowledge it or simply remain still, allowing the calm to deepen. Below this layer, the motion continues, subtle and constant, preparing the way for even stranger behaviors of solid ground. And as you drift alongside this endless movement, a soft curiosity begins to rise. If this layer never sleeps, how does it carry so much weight with such effortless calm? Here, the earth begins to behave in ways that feel almost dreamlike. What you think of as solid, unmoving rock slowly transforms into something more fluid, more gentle. Deep within this layer, stone does not crack or shatter. Instead, it bends and flows, moving like a river so slow that its motion can only be measured across ages. It is solid rock, yet it behaves with the patience of water. Imagine standing beside a river that takes thousands of years to complete a single curve. You would never notice it moving, yet it never truly stops. This is how the earth carries its weight. Under immense pressure and steady warmth, rock becomes flexible, stretching instead of breaking. Nothing here feels violent or unstable. Everything follows quiet paths, shaped by balance. As this image settles into your thoughts, it can feel reassuring. Even the hardest things can soften when given enough time and support. The planet teaches this lesson without words, showing how strength and gentleness can exist together. There is no struggle in this movement, only acceptance of the forces at play. Many listeners find this idea deeply calming, realizing that pressure does not always lead to damage. Sometimes it creates flow. If this perspective feels comforting, you can gently comment or simply remain here, allowing the image of slow-moving stone to carry your thoughts along. And as these rivers of solid rock continue their silent journey, they carry heat and energy deeper still. They guide the earth's inner processes with remarkable care. As you drift with them, another quiet question begins to form, pulling your curiosity forward. If rock can flow like this, what else changes as you descend even further? As you drift alongside these slow rivers of stone, the warmth around you begins to feel more intentional, almost guided. This heat does not rush or burst forward. It doesn't flicker or roar. Instead, it moves quietly, passing from one place to another with a calm sense of direction. Deep inside the earth, heat travels without fire, carried gently through solid material like a secret being shared. Imagine warmth rising not as flames, but as a soft current, lifting slowly and spreading evenly. It moves because it must, not because it is forced. Cooler areas receive this warmth, balance is restored, and then the motion continues again. This endless exchange happens so gradually that it feels like stillness. Yet, it is one of the reasons the planet remains alive and responsive. As you rest with this idea, it becomes easier to understand how change can happen without disruption. The Earth doesn't shock itself into motion. It adjusts, little by little, always seeking balance. That thought alone can ease the mind. You don't need sudden solutions or dramatic shifts. Sometimes the most lasting changes arrive quietly, over time. Your breathing may begin to follow this pattern, slow and steady, rising and falling without effort. There is comfort in knowing that warmth can move without urgency, that energy can travel without noise. If this calm understanding feels grounding, you can gently stay with it, letting the image settle deeper into your thoughts. Below, this traveling heat continues its patient journey, shaping movement and preparing the way for even broader forces. And as you drift with it, a new curiosity gently surfaces, unhurried and calm. Where does this quiet warmth lead as it moves through the depths? As you continue drifting through this deep interior world, the earth begins to feel almost alive in a familiar way. Not awake, not restless, but breathing, very slowly, very gently. The mantle expands and relaxes in subtle rhythms, responding to warmth and pressure like a calm, steady breath taken over millions of years. It is not something that can be felt from the surface, yet it happens constantly, without pause. Imagine a breath so slow that one inhale lasts longer than human history. As heat rises, materials stretch and lift almost imperceptibly. As they cool, they settle back down, finding balance again. This quiet expansion and release is how the mantle breathes, not with lungs, but with movement shaped by patience. Nothing strains, nothing resists. The planet simply adjusts. There is something deeply soothing about this idea. The Earth does not hold tension. It does not fight change. It allows itself to expand when needed and soften when it's time to rest. As this image settles into your mind, your own body may begin to follow the same pattern. Breaths deepen slightly, shoulders drop. The space inside your chest feels more open. This kind of breathing doesn't demand attention. It happens naturally in the background, supporting everything above it. Oceans, continents, and even the air you breathe depend on this quiet rhythm far below. And yet, the mantle never asks to be noticed. It simply continues. If this gentle image feels comforting, you can remain here with it, letting your thoughts rise and fall as slowly as the planet's breath. There is nowhere to go, nothing to solve, and as this deep breathing continues, it subtly influences the surface world in ways you might not expect. With each slow expansion and release, the Earth prepares for movements that reach far beyond this layer. And that leads to another calm curiosity waiting just ahead. Deep within the Earth, where movement never stops, there is an almost complete absence of sound. It may seem surprising that a place so active can be so quiet, but the mantle exists in a state of near silence. There are no crashes, no echoes, no sharp vibrations like the ones you know above ground. Everything moves too slowly, too smoothly to create noise as we understand it. Imagine placing your ear against the planet itself and hearing nothing at all. Not because nothing is happening, but because everything is happening with such patience that sound has no chance to form. Rock flows gently, heat drifts upward, pressure holds everything in balance. The silence is not empty, it is full, dense, and calming, like the quiet you feel when the world finally settles at night. This deep silence has a powerful effect on the mind when you think about it. It suggests that activity does not require noise and that progress does not need disturbance. The earth reshapes itself constantly, yet does so without clamor or urgency. It simply allows time to do its work. As this idea settles in, your thoughts may naturally become quieter as well. Without sound, there is less to react to, less to follow. The mind begins to rest in the same way the mantle does, active, yet peaceful. Many listeners find this realization especially soothing, a reminder that silence can hold immense strength. If this quiet depth feels comforting, you can gently comment with a simple symbol or just stay still, sharing this silence with others who are listening along. There is no need to speak it aloud, and yet, even in this silence, the mantle continues shaping the earth above. Slow, steady, and unseen, its influence reaches far beyond this quiet place. And as you remain here, another gentle curiosity begins to form. How does something so silent move entire continents? As you imagine the vast plates of the earth above this layer, they no longer feel heavy or rigid. They float slowly and patiently, carried by the gentle support of the mantle beneath. Nothing pushes them suddenly, nothing pulls them apart without warning. Their movement is guided by patience, not force. These enormous plates holding oceans, mountains, and cities drift so slowly that a lifetime would never notice the change. Yet over deep time, they travel vast distances, meeting, separating, and reshaping the surface with quiet consistency. It is movement without stress, change without urgency. There is comfort in knowing that the ground beneath you is not tense or fragile. It rests, supported by something patient enough to carry the weight of continents without strain. As this image settles in your mind, the body often responds by relaxing. Muscles soften, thoughts slow, and the need to hold everything together begins to fade. If this sense of calm stability feels reassuring, you can gently show appreciation or simply remain here, allowing the image of floating plates to carry your thoughts onward. There is nothing to manage, nothing to fix. Below, the patient support continues, steady and reliable, preparing the way for even deeper forces. And as these massive plates drift above, a quiet curiosity begins to rise. What happens beneath the layer that holds them so gently, yet so completely? That answer waits farther down, where patience becomes power, and the earth reveals another calm secret, resting just ahead in the deep, unhurried dark, quietly shaping everything you have ever known. In this depth, time begins to lose its familiar meaning. Seconds, minutes, and hours no longer feel useful. Instead, everything stretches into long, quiet spans where change happens so slowly it feels almost eternal. Here, time does not rush forward. It drifts, wide and gentle, like a calm current carrying everything along without effort. Imagine watching a clock whose hands move once every 1,000 years. At first, it would seem broken, but with patience, you would realize it is still working, just following a rhythm far older and slower than human life. This is how time behaves deep within the earth. Mountains rise and fade, oceans open and close, yet none of it feels sudden or dramatic. It simply unfolds. As this idea settles into your thoughts, something inside you may soften. When time slows, pressure fades. There is no deadline here, no sense of being late or behind. The earth does not measure itself against urgency. It allows change to arrive when it is ready, and not a moment sooner. This perspective can feel deeply comforting, especially at night. Your thoughts are allowed to slow too. There is no need to solve tomorrow or replay yesterday. Just like the layers below, you can exist in this moment without rushing through it. If this sense of unhurried time feels calming, you can gently remain here, breathing slowly, letting each moment stretch comfortably. There is nowhere else you need to be, and as time continues its quiet drift in the depths, it prepares the way for memories older than imagination itself. With each slow movement, the earth carries its past forward. And that brings another gentle curiosity into focus, waiting just beyond this stillness. Deep within this slow-moving layer, the earth holds memories of its earliest days. Not memories in the way humans remember, but impressions left behind by time itself. The mantle still carries traces of a younger planet, warmer, softer, still settling into its shape. These ancient signals remain gently pressed into the rock, preserved by patience and pressure. Imagine layers that have never been erased, only covered, each one holding a quiet story of what came before. When the earth was new, heat moved more freely, and the planet reshaped itself again and again. Those early movements did not disappear. They became part of the mantle's long memory, carried forward through billions of years of slow change. As you rest with this idea, it can feel comforting to know that even the oldest experiences are not lost. They become foundations rather than burdens. The earth does not cling to its past, yet it never truly forgets it either. Everything that happened helped shape what exists now, calmly and without regret. This thought often brings a gentle emotional ease. Just as the mantle holds its early history without strain, you don't need to push away old moments or hold them tightly. They can exist quietly in the background, no longer demanding attention. The present moment is supported by everything that came before it. If this reflection feels soothing, you can simply stay with it, allowing your thoughts to drift as slowly as the mantle itself. There is no need to sort or analyze anything here. And as these ancient memories rest beneath you, they continue influencing the warmth and movement of the planet today. The past and present remain softly connected. And with that connection comes another calm curiosity, forming gently as you drift onward. How does this deep memory shape the heat and motion still happening now? As you continue drifting through this deep layer, the warmth you sense begins to feel less like a force and more like a gift. It is not aggressive or overwhelming. It does not demand attention. Instead, it quietly offers balance, shaping movement and change with remarkable care. Deep inside the earth, heat gives rather than takes, supporting life above without ever being seen. This warmth allows the planet to remain flexible instead of brittle. It softens rock just enough to let it move, to adjust, to release tension slowly over time. Without this gentle heat, everything would become locked in place, unable to adapt. Change would stop. But because of this gift, the earth continues to renew itself calmly and steadily. As this idea settles in, it can feel reassuring to realize that not all power is loud or forceful. Some of the most important support systems work quietly in the background, never asking for recognition. The Earth's heat does its work patiently, making sure balance is maintained, even when no one is watching. Your body may respond to this thought with a deeper sense of ease. There is comfort in knowing that support can exist without effort on your part. Just as the planet is quietly cared for from within, you too are supported by systems you don't need to manage or control, especially in moments of rest. If this realization feels calming, you can gently remain here, letting the warmth in your imagination spread slowly, evenly, without intensity. There is nothing to hurry. And as this gift of heat continues its steady work, it prepares the way for an even deeper transition. Beyond this layer, the Earth begins to change more dramatically, revealing a boundary where familiar behaviors start to shift. And with that thought, a new curiosity begins to form, inviting you gently onward toward what lies below. As you drift farther down, the character of the Earth begins to change in a subtle but unmistakable way. The warmth you've been sensing grows more present, not sharper, but fuller, as if the planet is gathering its energy into a quieter, denser place. This is a moment of approach, a gentle nearing of something vast and glowing, hidden just beyond the layers you've already passed through. The movement around you feels smoother now, more unified. The slow rivers of stone above seem to lean inward, guiding everything toward a deeper center. It feels like standing at the edge of a calm sea at night, knowing its surface is close even before you can see it. There is no fear in this approach, only a deep sense of anticipation wrapped in calm. As this image forms in your mind, the world above fades even further. Thoughts become fewer, lighter, less attached. The Earth seems to hum quietly here, not with sound, but with presence. This glow below is not fire or chaos. It is controlled, contained, and endlessly patient, waiting in stillness. Many listeners feel a deep settling at this point, as if their thoughts have finally found a place to rest. If that's happening to you, there's nothing to do but allow it. You are being carried gently, supported by layers that have never failed. If this calm descent feels comforting, you can softly remain here, knowing others are drifting alongside you in the same quiet moment. There is no rush to arrive. Just ahead, the Earth opens into something different, a vast glowing sea where solid ground begins to behave in unfamiliar ways. And as you hover at this final edge of the mantle, a soft curiosity lingers, ready to guide you into the next depth, where the planet reveals one of its most mesmerizing secrets. As you pass beyond the final edge of the mantle, the Earth opens into a space unlike anything above it. Here, solid ground gives way to something fluid, heavy, and quietly luminous. You have arrived at a vast sea made not of water, but of metal, flowing slowly in the deep dark. It feels calm, steady, and endlessly patient, as if this layer has been waiting for you to notice it. This sea is made of iron and nickel, warmed enough to move, yet never rushing. It does not splash or churn. Instead, it glides in broad, gentle currents, guided by heat and the slow turning of the planet. The motion here is smoother than thought, carried out over timescales so long they feel almost eternal. Nothing about this place feels chaotic. It is controlled, balanced, and deeply calm, Imagine standing beside a glowing ocean at night, its surface smooth and unbroken, reflecting no light, because there is none to reflect. The glow comes from within, soft and steady, like embers resting beneath ash. This inner sea surrounds the earth's deepest heart, protecting it, shaping it, and working constantly without ever drawing attention to itself. As this image settles into your mind, it can feel grounding to know that something so powerful exists in such a peaceful state. This planet's strength does not come from tension or force, but from balance and flow. Even here, at immense depth, everything moves with purpose and restraint. If this calm discovery feels soothing, you can gently remain with it, letting your thoughts drift across this inner sea without effort. There is no need to understand every detail. Just knowing it exists is enough. And as this metallic ocean continues its slow, silent movement, it creates effects that reach far beyond the depths, shaping invisible forces that protect life above. As you rest beside this glowing sea, a new curiosity begins to form, drawing your attention toward how this quiet motion touches the world you know. Iron here does something unexpected. It flows, not quickly, not violently, but with a calm steadiness that feels almost gentle. Deep inside the earth, metal behaves less like something rigid and more like something willing to move, shaped by heat and pressure working together in quiet agreement. Imagine iron softened just enough to glide, carrying energy from one place to another without resistance. Each slow movement follows invisible paths, guided by balance rather than force. Nothing struggles, nothing resists. The metal simply responds, adjusting itself over vast stretches of time. This flowing iron is always in motion, yet it never feels busy. Its pace is unhurried, measured in centuries and millennia rather than seconds. As you rest with this idea, your thoughts may begin to slow in the same way, drifting without effort, no longer pulled in sharp directions. There is something deeply comforting about knowing that even the strongest materials can adapt. Iron does not break under this pressure. It changes, becoming part of a system that supports the entire planet. Strength here is flexible, calm, and patient. If this image feels soothing, you can gently stay with it, breathing slowly, allowing the idea of flowing metal to carry your attention forward. There is no urgency, no need to understand more than this moment offers. As this iron continues its endless movement, it generates quiet effects that reach far beyond this inner sea. Invisible lines of influence begin to form, stretching outward, touching everything above. And as you drift alongside this calm flow, curiosity invites you onward gently now. As this iron flows in its quiet, steady patterns, something remarkable begins to emerge. Though unseen, a vast protective presence forms around the planet, extending far beyond the depths you've imagined. This is the Earth's invisible shield, created not by force but by motion so calm and constant that it feels almost like a quiet promise. The slow movement of metal deep below generates gentle lines of energy that stretch outward into space. You cannot see them, and you cannot feel them directly, yet they surround you every day. They guide particles, soften cosmic impacts, and quietly guard the atmosphere that allows life to breathe. All of this protection comes from motion that never rushes and never rests. As you lie here listening, it may feel comforting to know that this shield asks nothing of you. It does not need attention or maintenance. It simply exists, wrapping the planet in a steady embrace. Even during moments of rest, When you are completely still, this deep process continues, endlessly patient. This idea often brings a subtle sense of safety. You are not exposed or unguarded. Beneath your feet, far below awareness, the earth is actively protecting everything above. And it does so silently, without disruption, without urgency. Protection here feels calm, not dramatic. If this realization feels reassuring, you can gently remain present, letting that sense of safety settle into your thoughts. There is nothing to prepare for, nothing to defend against in this moment. The planet is already doing that work. And as this invisible shield stretches outward, it draws attention back inward as well, toward the source of its strength. Deeper still lies another truth about this flowing metal, one that challenges familiar ideas and invites a softer understanding of the Earth's hidden power. Many people imagine the center of the Earth as a raging fireball, a place of constant explosions and uncontrollable heat. It's an image shaped by dramatic stories and glowing illustrations where everything burns and nothing is stable. But as you rest here, that picture begins to soften. The reality deep below is far quieter, far more composed, and far more peaceful than the myth suggests. There is intense heat, yes, but it is not wild or destructive. It is held in perfect balance by pressure so immense that chaos has no room to exist. Instead of flames, there is order. Instead of violence, there is steady motion. The Earth's deepest regions are not burning themselves apart. They are calmly holding themselves together, moment by moment, age by age. As this understanding settles in, fear often fades on its own. The planet is not fragile. It is not on the edge of collapse. It has been managing these deep forces for billions of years with remarkable consistency. Even at its hottest depths, the Earth remains controlled, grounded, and stable. This realization can be surprisingly soothing. If the planet can remain calm under such extreme conditions, then perhaps calm is more resilient than we often believe. Strength does not always appear loud or aggressive. Sometimes it appears as quiet balance, maintained without effort. If this gentler truth feels reassuring, you can simply stay with it, letting your thoughts loosen and your body rest a little more deeply. There is nothing dramatic happening beneath you, only patience at work. And as this softened image replaces the old myth, curiosity naturally turns inward again. If the core is not a fireball, then what is it really like at its center? That quieter truth waits just ahead, steady and calm, ready to be explored. As the old images fade away, what remains is something far calmer and more subtle. Deep below there is a glow, but it is not bright or blinding. It does not flash or flicker. It rests. This glow feels soft, like warmth held behind closed eyes, present without demanding attention. It is the quiet light of energy doing exactly what it was meant to do. Imagine standing near embers long after a fire has settled, when the heat is steady and the light is gentle. Nothing burns wildly. Nothing reaches outward. The glow simply exists, contained and calm, filling the space around it with reassurance. This is the nature of the Earth here. Power without aggression, energy without urgency. As you rest with this image, your thoughts may become hazy in the most pleasant way. Sharp edges soften. The mind stops searching for contrast or excitement. Everything blends into a steady, comforting awareness. The glow below does not disturb the silence. It deepens it, adding a sense of presence rather than noise. This soft glow plays an important role even though it feels so peaceful. It maintains motion, supports protection, and keeps the planet balanced. And yet, it never announces itself. It works quietly, faithfully, asking for nothing in return. If this calm warmth feels soothing, you can remain right here, letting your breathing slow and your attention drift. There is nothing hidden that you need to uncover. Just knowing this glow exists is enough to settle the mind. And as you linger beside this gentle light, something else begins to draw your awareness. Even in this quiet glow, movement continues in subtle ways, carrying signals and vibrations through the depth. And that leads gently to another curiosity waiting just ahead. In this deep, glowing layer, sound no longer behaves the way it does near the surface. Vibrations still travel, but they bend, slow, and change direction, guided by density and pressure rather than open space. There is no clear echo here, no sharp return of noise. Instead, sound becomes a soft messenger, quietly reshaped as it moves through the planet's interior. Imagine a gentle ripple passing through thick water, losing its sharpness as it spreads, becoming smoother, rounder, calmer. This is how sound waves move here. They curve around denser regions, slow as they pass through heavier material, and sometimes fade entirely before reaching the other side. Nothing is wasted or chaotic. Each vibration simply adapts. This bending of sound is one of the ways the Earth quietly reveals itself. Even without seeing inside, these subtle changes help humans understand what lies below. The planet communicates not with words, but with gentle signals, carried patiently through its depths. And yet, from within, it feels almost completely silent. As you rest with this idea, the mind often follows the same pattern. Thoughts that once moved sharply begin to soften, bending gently instead of colliding. There is less resistance, less urgency. Everything flows around obstacles rather than pushing through them. This kind of mental quiet can feel deeply relieving. If this sense of softened movement feels calming, you can simply stay with it, letting your thoughts drift and curve naturally without trying to control them. There is no need for clarity or answers right now, just motion without tension. And as these sound waves continue their quiet journey through the depths, they carry hints of something even more still below. Beyond this bending silence lies a region where movement slows further and the earth begins to feel even more settled. That calm presence waits just ahead, inviting you gently onward. Here, motion exists in its calmest form. Nothing collides, nothing rushes. Even though immense forces are at work, everything moves with restraint and balance. This is motion without chaos, a quiet choreography guided by laws older than memory. The earth does not fight itself here, it cooperates with itself. The flowing metal, the bending waves, the steady warmth all move together, each part aware of the others in a silent way. Every shift is answered by another, every movement balanced by return. There is no wasted energy, no sudden disruption. It feels as though the planet has learned exactly how to move without disturbing its own peace. As you rest with this idea, it can feel reassuring to know that great power does not require turmoil. The strongest systems often appear calm from the inside. The earth carries immense energy, yet expresses it gently, allowing motion to exist without noise or stress. Your body may begin to mirror this feeling. Even if thoughts are still present, they move more slowly now, without sharp turns. There is space between them. Breathing feels easier. The sense of needing to react or control begins to fade. Everything is allowed to move as it needs to, nothing more. If this calm balance feels comforting, you can simply remain here, letting the idea settle. There is nothing to fix, nothing to prepare for. The planet is already showing how stability and movement can exist together. And as this quiet motion continues, it gradually leads toward a deeper stillness, a place where activity becomes even more subtle. Just ahead, the Earth offers a moment to pause, to stretch awareness gently before drifting further inward toward its deepest calm. Before drifting any deeper, there is a small, gentle moment here meant just for you. Nothing demanding, nothing that pulls you out of calm. Simply a quiet invitation to notice your body, the way it rests, the way it's been holding still for a while now. You don't need to move much, only enough to remind yourself that you're comfortable and supported. If it feels right, you might slowly roll your shoulders just a little, letting them sink back into the surface beneath you. Or you might gently stretch your fingers, opening and closing your hands once or twice without effort. These small movements don't disturb the calm. They help it deepen, releasing tension you may not have noticed before. As you do this, imagine the earth below doing something similar, adjusting slowly, easing pressure, finding balance again. Just as the planet shifts without strain, your body can do the same. There is no rush to finish. Take as long as you need or skip this entirely if stillness feels better. Both are perfectly fine. Notice how the stretch fades naturally, how your body settles back into rest. Muscles soften, weight sinks. The surface beneath you feels steady and reliable, like the layers you've been drifting through. This moment is not a break from the journey, it's part of it. Many listeners find that after this brief awareness, relaxation comes more easily. The body feels acknowledged, no longer needing attention. If that's happening for you, simply allow it. There is nothing else to do. And as you return fully to stillness, the earth continues its calm motion below, steady and unchanged. With your body at ease and your thoughts drifting again, you're ready to move onward. Just ahead, the depth grows even quieter, preparing you for what waits deeper. Still, now that everything is settled again, the journey continues with a sense of quiet readiness. The movement around you becomes more focused, as if all the layers you've passed through are gently guiding you toward something central and important. This is not an arrival yet, but a preparation, a calm moment of alignment before going deeper. Here, the earth feels more intentional. The slow flows of metal and heat seem to curve inward, not rushing, not pulling, simply orienting themselves toward the planet's heart. It's a feeling similar to standing still before stepping into a familiar room, knowing what's ahead without needing to see it yet. There is no tension in this preparation, only calm anticipation. As you rest with this idea, your thoughts may grow even quieter. The mind senses that it doesn't need to work right now. There is nothing to analyze or solve. Everything that needed to slow down already has. Breathing becomes effortless, and awareness feels soft and wide, like floating. This preparation isn't about action. It's about readiness without effort. The earth does not rush toward its center. It has all the time it needs, and so do you. The deeper you imagine going, the more supported you feel, held by layers that exist solely to maintain balance. If this calm readiness feels comforting, you can simply stay with it. letting the sense of alignment settle. Many listeners find this moment especially peaceful, as if the journey has gently gathered all distractions and set them aside. Just ahead lies a deeper boundary, one where the Earth's nature becomes even more surprising. The preparation you feel now is a quiet invitation to continue, to drift onward into the planet's most guarded space, where stillness and strength come together in perfect balance. You arrive now at a quiet edge, a boundary where familiar ideas begin to dissolve. This is a threshold, calm and steady, where intense heat and deep stillness exist together without conflict. Nothing announces this place. There is no sudden shift, no dramatic change. It simply feels different, heavier with presence, more focused, as if the Earth itself is pausing here. Beyond this point, heat becomes almost unimaginable, yet everything feels more stable, not less. The forces here are immense, but they are perfectly balanced, held in place by pressure so great that movement slows to a near standstill. It feels like standing beside something incredibly powerful that has no need to prove itself. Quiet strength fills the space. As you rest at this threshold, thoughts may fade even further, becoming distant and soft. The mind senses that it has reached a place where effort is unnecessary. There is nothing to brace for, nothing to fear. The Earth has carried you here gently, and it continues to hold you with the same patience. This place challenges old images of heat and fire. There are no flames, no chaos, no destruction. Instead, there is solidity, calm, and deep control. Energy exists here in its most contained form, steady and unchanging. It is fire without movement, power without noise. If this realization feels grounding, you can simply remain with it, allowing the sense of calm strength to settle into your awareness. Many listeners find this moment especially peaceful, as if they've reached the deepest point their thoughts need to travel tonight. And yet, beyond this threshold lies the Earth's quiet center, a place of even greater stillness and balance. As you linger here, a final gentle curiosity forms, ready to guide you onward, deeper into the heart of the planet, where calm becomes absolute and everything rests together. Beyond the threshold, something quietly astonishing reveals itself. At the very center of intense heat, where everything should melt and lose form, there is solidity, a world held together not despite the heat, but because of it. This inner place feels calm, dense, and deeply settled, as if the Earth has chosen stillness as its final form. Here, pressure is so immense that motion slows almost completely. Heat no longer creates flow. Instead, it creates strength. Materials are pressed so tightly together that they lock into place, forming a core that feels unwavering and calm. It's a reminder that conditions we often imagine as destructive can, in the right balance, create stability instead. As you rest with this idea, the mind often responds with a sense of quiet awe. Fire usually suggests movement, change, and intensity, but here, fire has become something else entirely. It has been transformed into a force that holds, grounds, and stabilizes. There's no struggle between opposites. Everything belongs exactly where it is. This solid center does not rush or react. It simply exists, steady and constant, anchoring everything above it. Continents shift, oceans move, and climates change, but this inner world remains composed, offering balance without effort. Knowing this can feel deeply reassuring, especially at night, when the mind seeks something dependable. If this image feels comforting, you can remain with it, letting the idea of a calm center settle into your awareness. Just as the earth has a stable heart, you too can rest in stillness, supported from within. And as this solid calm holds everything in place, it invites another gentle curiosity. How can something so hot remain so still? And what does that stillness mean for the planet above? At this depth, the numbers stop feeling real. The heat here is greater than the surface of the sun, yet nothing burns, nothing flickers, nothing breaks apart. It is heat without drama, held so completely by pressure that it becomes almost gentle in its effect. This place does not glow with violence. It rests in a quiet, unimaginable warmth that never escapes. Imagine heat so intense that it no longer tries to rise. It has nowhere to go. Every particle is pressed tightly against the next, creating a stillness so deep that motion itself feels unnecessary. The earth has learned how to hold extremes without disturbance, turning what could be chaos into perfect balance. As this idea settles in, the mind often reacts with a soft kind of wonder. Things you once thought had to be dangerous suddenly feel calm. Heat does not always mean destruction. In the right conditions, it becomes stability. That realization alone can ease hidden tension, reminding you that even intense feelings can exist peacefully when supported. This inner heat has been steady for billions of years. It does not flare up or cool down suddenly. It simply remains, anchoring the planet from within. There is something profoundly comforting about knowing that at the very center of everything, conditions are constant and reliable. If this thought feels grounding, you can simply stay with it, letting your awareness sink deeper into the idea of contained warmth. There is no urgency here, no change to anticipate. Everything important is already held. And as this intense heat remains perfectly still, it invites another quiet curiosity. If heat alone cannot disturb this place, what role does pressure play in creating such deep calm and strength? Here, pressure is no longer something to resist. It is not crushing or harmful. It is calming. Deep within the earth, pressure becomes the reason everything feels so stable, so quiet, so perfectly held. Every layer presses inward with equal strength, creating a balance so complete that nothing needs to move at all. Imagine being gently held from all sides, not tightly, but evenly, so there is no direction to fall, no space to strain against. This is what pressure feels like here. It removes tension instead of creating it. With nowhere to escape and nothing to push against, motion naturally slows, and stillness becomes effortless. As you rest with this image, your body may respond in subtle ways. The sense of needing to brace or hold yourself together begins to fade. Muscles soften. The mind loosens its grip on urgency. Pressure, when evenly shared, creates peace. The earth demonstrates this quietly, without explanation, simply by existing. This deep balance has endured for billions of years. It does not fluctuate wildly. It does not weaken. Pressure here is reliable, constant, and deeply calming. It allows intense heat to exist without disruption, turning potential chaos into calm strength. Everything is exactly where it needs to be. If this idea feels soothing, you can remain with it, letting the concept of supportive pressure settle into your awareness. You do not need to escape or resolve anything right now. Just like the Earth Center, you are allowed to rest within what holds you. And as this peaceful pressure continues to anchor the planet, another quiet curiosity begins to form. In a place so calm and still, what does movement even mean? And how does anything change at all? This is the quietest place the planet knows, not because nothing exists here, but because everything has finally come to rest. Movement has slowed so completely that it feels almost suspended, like a breath held forever without strain. At the Earth's deepest center, stillness is not empty. It is full, dense, and deeply settled. Imagine a calm so complete that even time seems to pause. No rushing, no drifting, no need to adjust. Every particle rests exactly where it belongs, supported from all sides. There is no tension here, no imbalance waiting to be corrected. The planet has reached a point of perfect composure, and it holds that state effortlessly. As you rest with this idea, your own thoughts may begin to mirror it. The constant background noise of the mind softens, then fades. There is nothing to anticipate, nothing to replay. Awareness becomes simple and quiet, like floating in a warm, dark space where nothing asks for attention. This stillness is not fragile, it is incredibly strong. It has endured through every change the planet has experienced, from shifting continents to changing skies. While everything above moves and transforms, this place remains calm, offering stability to the entire Earth. Knowing that such deep stillness exists can feel profoundly reassuring. If this calm feels comforting, you can simply stay with it. There is no need to name it or understand it fully. Just allow the sense of deep quiet to settle into you the way the Earth settles into itself. And yet, even here, the story continues in subtle ways. Beneath this stillness lies another truth, one that gently challenges what you think you know about the planet's heart. As you rest in this quiet center, a soft curiosity begins to form, inviting you to look even closer. It's often said that the Earth's deepest center spins like a restless ball, twisting and racing beneath everything we know. It's an image that suggests constant motion, endless turning, and hidden turbulence. But as you rest here, that picture slowly fades, replaced by something far quieter and more composed than the myth implies. The inner heart of the planet does not spin wildly or churn with urgency. Any movement here is subtle, almost imperceptible, unfolding over spans of time so vast they feel nearly motionless. If there is rotation, it is slow, restrained, and deeply balanced, guided by forces that prioritize stability over speed. Nothing rushes, nothing strains. As this understanding settles in, the idea of constant inner motion begins to feel unnecessary. The Earth does not need to prove its energy through speed. Its strength lies in its ability to remain centered, calm, and reliable. Even the deepest parts of the planet move only when balance requires it, and even then, with extraordinary restraint. This realization can be quietly comforting. Many things we imagine as frantic or unstable turn out to be calm when seen more clearly. The Earth's center is not restless. It is patient. It does not spin to escape pressure. It rests within it, supported from all sides. If this gentler truth feels reassuring, you can simply stay with it, allowing the old dramatic images to dissolve. There is no danger hiding below, no chaos waiting to break free, just quiet strength, held in perfect balance. And as this myth fades into calm understanding, another gentle curiosity begins to surface. If the core is not racing or spinning wildly, how does it change at all over time? That quiet answer waits just ahead, unfolding slowly, just like everything else here. Even in this deepest calm, change still happens, though it is almost impossible to notice. The Earth's inner core grows, not suddenly, not dramatically, but grain by grain, moment by moment, over spans of time so long they feel infinite. This growth is quiet, steady, and deeply patient, like something that knows it will never be rushed. Imagine crystals forming in complete stillness, locking gently into place as heat slowly releases and pressure holds everything together. Nothing forces this growth. It happens naturally, guided by balance rather than intention. Each tiny change adds to the strength of the whole, creating a center that becomes more stable with every passing age. As you rest with this idea, it can feel comforting to know that growth does not need effort or urgency. The earth does not push itself to become more than it is. It simply allows change to arrive when the conditions are right. There is no deadline here, no expectation to become something quickly. This slow growth has been happening for billions of years, and it will continue long after the surface world changes in ways we cannot imagine. The inner core does not rush toward the future. It builds it quietly, one moment at a time, without ever disturbing its own peace. If this thought feels soothing, you can remain with it, letting go of the idea that progress must be fast or visible. Sometimes the most meaningful growth happens so slowly that it feels like stillness. And as this quiet strengthening continues at the planet's center, another gentle curiosity begins to form. If the core grows like this, layer by layer, what kind of structure does it create deep within the Earth's heart? At the very center of the planet, the Earth's heart takes on a crystalline form, not sharp or glittering like gemstones in the light, but smooth, ordered, and deeply calm. These crystals grow slowly, aligning themselves under immense pressure, forming patterns so precise they feel almost intentional. It is a quiet architecture, built without sound, without haste, and without interruption. Imagine countless crystals pressed together, each one knowing exactly where it belongs. They do not compete for space. They do not rush to form. They settle patiently, guided by balance and time. This crystal heart reflects the Earth's deepest commitment to order, even in the most extreme conditions. Heat and pressure do not disrupt it. They help create it. As you rest with this image, it can feel grounding to know that at the planet's core, there is structure and clarity. Even in darkness, even under unimaginable force, things can come together beautifully. The Earth does not resist its conditions. It works with them, shaping strength out of stillness. This ancient crystal heart has been forming for longer than life has existed on the surface. It remembers nothing and everything at once, holding the planet steady without effort. While the world above shifts and changes, this deep structure remains calm, offering balance to everything that depends on it. If this image feels comforting, you can simply stay with it, letting your thoughts rest in the idea of quiet order and deep stability. There is nothing fragile here, nothing uncertain, only patience, clarity, and strength. And as this crystal heart continues to hold the earth together, another gentle curiosity begins to rise. How does something so distant and hidden still matter to you, here on the surface right now? Even though it lies far beyond reach, deeper than any journey could ever go, the Earth's core is quietly connected to you. It may feel distant, hidden beneath layers of stone and time, yet its influence reaches all the way to where you are resting now. Every step you take, every calm moment you experience is supported by that steady center below. The core helps shape the planet's balance, guiding forces that protect the surface and allow life to exist in gentle stability. It anchors the earth, giving everything above it a sense of weight and direction. Without this calm center, the world would feel less steady, less predictable, less safe. And yet, the core never asks to be noticed for the role it plays. As you lie here, breathing slowly, it can feel reassuring to know that support doesn't always come from what you can see. Some of the most important things work silently in the background, holding everything together without effort or recognition. The Earth's core does this constantly, offering stability simply by being what it is. This idea often brings a subtle emotional comfort. You're not standing on something fragile or temporary. Beneath you is a structure that has endured for billions of years, calm and unshaken by change. That kind of support can help the mind relax, letting go of the need to stay alert or guarded. If this connection feels grounding, you can remain with it, allowing the thought of deep support to settle gently into your awareness. There is nothing you need to do to earn it. It is already there, steady and reliable. And as this sense of connection deepens, another quiet curiosity begins to form. If the core offers such strength without noise, what does true strength really look like when everything grows quiet? Deep within the earth, strength does not announce itself. It does not shake or demand attention. It exists quietly, without display, without effort. This is strength without noise, the kind that holds everything together simply by remaining steady. The core does not prove its power through movement or force. It proves it through calm endurance. Imagine a presence so stable that nothing can disturb it. Not because it resists change, but because it is perfectly balanced within it. This is the kind of strength the earth carries at its center. It does not react. It does not rush to correct. It allows the world above to move, to shift, to evolve, while it remains constant and reliable. As you rest with this idea, it can feel deeply reassuring. So much of daily life teaches that strength must be visible, loud, or exhausting. But here, the earth shows another way. True strength can be quiet. It can be patient. It can exist without tension or effort. Nothing here strains to hold its place. It simply belongs. Your body may begin to mirror this feeling. Muscles soften. The need to stay alert fades. You do not need to hold yourself together right now, just like the earth's core. You are allowed to rest in stillness, supported without struggle. This quiet strength has lasted through every storm, every shift, every transformation the planet has known. It does not weaken with time. It deepens. Knowing that such strength exists beneath you can help the mind release its grip, trusting that stability does not require constant action. If this calm endurance feels comforting, you can simply remain here, breathing slowly, letting the idea settle. There is nothing to prove, nothing to fix. And as this silent strength continues to hold the planet steady, one final gentle curiosity begins to form. If such calm power exists at the Earth's center, what happens when we begin to move back toward the surface, carrying this stillness with us? After resting in the Earth's deepest calm, there is a gentle sense of turning, not away from the center, but outward, carrying its stillness with you. Nothing pulls you upward quickly. There is no rush to leave this place. The movement back toward the surface feels slow and thoughtful, like rising from deep water, where everything was quiet and steady. As you imagine this gradual return, the strength of the core remains with you. It does not fade with distance. That calm center continues to exist, anchoring everything, even as layers begin to unfold again above it. The earth feels complete, balanced from its heart to its outermost surface, each layer supporting the next. This turning back does not disturb the peace you've found. Instead, it gently spreads it. The stillness from the center seems to travel with you, softening each layer you pass through. Heat feels less intense, motion feels gentler, and the quiet strength you sensed below now feels like a steady companion. As you rest with this idea, your own awareness may feel more settled, more grounded. You don't need to stay at the center to keep its calm. It becomes part of you, something you can carry upward without effort. Just knowing it exists is enough. Many listeners find this moment especially soothing, as if the journey has come full circle. There is no loss in leaving the deepest point. Everything important remains exactly where it belongs. And as you continue this slow, peaceful return, the earth prepares to guide you into a new perspective, one where surface and depth connect gently. With each layer above, curiosity softens into understanding, and the calm you've gathered follows you onward, ready to shape the next part of the journey. As you arrive back in awareness of the surface world, something feels different now. Beneath every place you've ever stood, beneath every quiet room and every sleeping city, there is an ancient strength holding everything steady. You are standing on it even now, supported by a depth you don't need to see in order to trust. This strength does not rise up or announce itself. It remains below, doing its work patiently, just as it always has. Mountains rest upon it. Oceans lean into it. Every step you've taken in your life has been carried by this calm foundation, shaped over billions of years without hurry or strain. The earth has been ready for you long before you ever noticed it. As you rest with this thought, a gentle sense of grounding may spread through your body. You don't need to brace yourself against the world. You are already supported. The planet beneath you is not fragile or uncertain. It is composed, balanced, and deeply reliable, offering stability without asking for anything in return. This realization can feel especially comforting at night, when the mind searches for reassurance. Even when everything feels quiet and still, the earth remains present, holding you exactly where you are. You are not floating or drifting without support. You are connected to something vast, calm, and enduring. If this sense of grounding feels soothing, you can simply stay with it, allowing the idea of ancient strength beneath you to settle into your awareness. There is no need to imagine more than this moment. Just the feeling of being held effortlessly. And as you continue resting on this steady foundation, another soft curiosity begins to form. If the earth supports you so completely beneath your feet, how does that support quietly follow you through every moment of your life? With every step you've ever taken, there has been something constant beneath you, not just ground or pavement or soil, but a deep, steady presence extending far beyond what the eye can see. Beneath every path, every floor, every quiet place you've rested, the earth's core has been there, offering its calm support without interruption. You rarely need to think about it. The support is so reliable that it fades into the background of daily life, yet it never disappears. Each step is gently passed downward through layers of rock and time until it reaches that stable center. Nothing wobbles, nothing gives way. The planet receives your weight without effort, just as it has for billions of years. As you imagine this connection, walking becomes something softer, almost ceremonial. Even standing still feels different when you realize how deeply supported you are. The ground beneath you is not thin or uncertain. It is layered, patient, and strong, resting on a core that does not tire or shift without purpose. This awareness often brings a quiet sense of confidence. You do not need to grip the world tightly to remain steady. You are already anchored. The earth carries you through each moment. Whether you are moving or resting, awake or asleep, its support does not depend on your attention. As you lie here now, you are just as supported as when you walk. The surface may feel soft or firm beneath you, but far below, the same ancient strength remains unchanged. It holds cities, oceans, forests, and you, all with the same calm care. If this thought feels reassuring, you can simply stay with it, letting your body sink a little more into rest. There is no need to hold yourself up tonight. The earth has already done that work for you, and as this sense of quiet support settles in, another gentle curiosity begins to rise. If the core is beneath every step, how does its presence continue to protect you even when you are completely still? Even while you are completely still, doing nothing at all, the earth continues to protect you in ways that often go unnoticed. Far beneath your resting place, the core quietly plays a role in shielding the planet, maintaining balance, and keeping the surface calm enough for rest. This protection doesn't pause when you sleep. It continues steady and reliable through every hour of the night. The deep movements you've imagined help sustain forces that guard the atmosphere and soften the impact of distant cosmic activity. Without this quiet protection, the surface world would feel far less gentle. The air would change. Conditions would grow harsher. But because the Earth's core remains active in its calm way, nights stay peaceful, skies remain familiar, and sleep can arrive naturally. As you rest with this idea, it can feel comforting to know that safety doesn't require your awareness. You don't need to stay alert or prepared. The planet beneath you is already doing that work, maintaining the conditions that allow your body to relax fully. Even in deep sleep, when thoughts fade completely, this protection continues without interruption. This realization often brings a sense of permission to let go. You are not responsible for holding the world together. You don't need to stay half awake just in case. The Earth has been managing its balance long before you are here, and it will continue long after tonight. You are allowed to rest within that certainty. If this thought feels soothing, you can remain with it, letting your breathing slow even more. Each exhale can feel like sinking slightly deeper into safety, supported from below by something ancient and dependable. And as this sense of protection settles gently around you, another soft image begins to form. The Earth does not just protect from a distance. It holds you closely, surrounding you with calm in ways that can be felt even if never seen. As you lie still, there is a quiet realization that the Earth is not just beneath you, but around you. It holds you gently, not with pressure or weight, but with presence. Every layer you've imagined, every depth you've drifted through now feels like a soft embrace, steady and unbroken. You are not resting on something fragile. You are resting within something ancient and calm. Picture the planet as a vast cradle, shaped over time to support everything it carries. The ground beneath you is only the surface of that support. Below it, layers upon layers share the task of holding, balancing, and stabilizing. Nothing slips, nothing gives way. The earth does not need to adjust to hold you. It has been ready all along. This feeling can be deeply soothing. The sense of being held allows the body to finally release effort it didn't know it was carrying. Muscles soften. Breathing becomes slower, deeper, more natural. The mind, no longer scanning for instability, begins to drift, trusting the quiet strength surrounding it. Even when thoughts wander, even when dreams begin to form, this support does not change. The planet continues its slow, patient work, creating a space where rest can happen safely. You don't need to imagine every detail. Just the feeling of being held is enough. If this sense of calm feels comforting, you can simply stay with it, letting your awareness sink gently into the idea of support without demand. There is no need to hold yourself up tonight. You are already held. And as this feeling deepens, another gentle thought arises, barely forming. If the earth can hold you so completely, what happens when fear fades and only calm remains, older and stronger than anything else? Before fear ever existed, calm was already here. Long before worries had names, before danger had meaning, the earth was settling into itself, cooling, balancing, finding stillness. Calm is not something newly learned. It is ancient. It is older than every storm, older than every thought that ever kept you awake at night. Fear reacts. Calm endures. Fear rises quickly and fades, but calm remains beneath it, steady and unchanged. Deep within the planet, calm has never been disturbed by surface noise. It has watched ages pass without urgency, holding its balance through every transformation. Knowing this can feel grounding, like remembering something you've always known, but briefly forgot. As you rest with this idea, fear may begin to feel smaller, less convincing. It has not been here as long as calm has. It does not have the same depth or strength. Calm does not rush in to fight fear. It simply waits, knowing it will outlast it. This quiet confidence is what the earth carries at its center and what it offers to you now. Your body understands this more easily than your thoughts do. When calm settles in, muscles soften without instruction. Breathing deepens on its own. There is no need to convince yourself to relax. Calm recognizes you just as it recognizes the planet that has carried it for so long. If this realization feels comforting, you can let it rest with you without effort. You don't need to chase calm or create it. It was already here before fear ever arrived. It will remain long after fear fades again. And as this ancient calm settles more fully around you, another gentle curiosity begins to form. If calm is so deeply rooted, what happens when you allow yourself to belong to it completely, without resistance or thought? You're not just listening to this story, you are part of it. Even now, as you rest quietly, you exist within the same planet you've been imagining, connected to its layers, its patience, its calm. The Earth's story is not separate from yours. It includes every breath you take, every moment you pause, every night you allow yourself to rest. For billions of years, this planet has been shaping itself gently, creating space for life to appear, to grow, to wonder. And now here you are, lying comfortably, listening, carried by the same slow processes that formed mountains and oceans. Nothing about this moment is accidental. You belong here, supported by everything beneath you. As you rest with this thought, the boundary between observer and story begins to soften. You are not outside, looking in. You are inside the rhythm of the earth, moving with it, resting with it. Your heartbeat echoes patterns that began long before you, and your stillness mirrors the stillness deep below. This realization often brings a quiet sense of belonging. You don't need to search for your place. You are already in it. The earth does not exclude you from its story. It includes you naturally, without question or effort. If this sense of connection feels comforting, you can remain with it, letting go of the idea that you are separate or alone. Even in silence, even in rest, you are part of something vast and steady. And as this feeling settles in, another gentle thought begins to rise. If you are inside this story, moving with it so quietly, how might your thoughts slow and soften when you allow yourself to drift fully into its rhythm? Thoughts don't need to stop all at once. They can slow, gently, the way tectonic plates move beneath the surface of the earth. Not frozen, not chaotic, just drifting at a pace so calm it's barely noticeable. Deep below, these massive plates carry continents without strain, and your thoughts can learn to move the same way. Imagine each thought as a wide, solid plate, floating patiently. There is no collision, no pressure to resolve anything. Each idea drifts away from the next, creating space in between. In that space, quiet begins to grow. The mind no longer needs to jump or react. It can simply exist, supported and unhurried. As you rest with this image, the usual pull of thinking starts to soften. Thoughts still appear, but they feel farther apart now, slower, less demanding. There is no need to follow them to the end. Just as tectonic plates don't rush toward their destination, your thoughts don't need to arrive anywhere tonight. This slow movement creates safety. When nothing moves quickly, nothing feels urgent. The body understands this instinctively. Breathing deepens. The muscles around the eyes relax. The space behind the forehead feels wider, calmer, as if the mind itself is stretching out to rest. If this gentle slowing feels comforting, you can simply allow it to continue. There is no technique to remember, no effort to apply. The earth beneath you already knows how to move slowly. You are simply borrowing its rhythm for a while. And as your thoughts drift farther apart, silence begins to appear naturally between them. In that silence, rest waits patiently, and just beyond it, a final quiet turning begins, guiding you softly toward the end of this journey, where calm can deepen into sleep without resistance. As everything slows, there is a gentle sense of circling back, not in a way that feels repetitive, but familiar and comforting. The journey you've taken begins to fold softly into itself, like a path that naturally leads home. The layers you drifted through earlier feel closer now, not because you are moving quickly, but because everything has settled into ease. This return is quiet and unforced. There is no sudden ascent, no need to retrace every step. The earth remains exactly as it was, calm and steady, while your awareness simply widens. What once felt deep and distant now feels present and close, as if the entire journey exists in a single, peaceful moment. As you rest with this idea, your body may feel heavier, more relaxed, as if gravity itself has grown gentler. The mind no longer reaches forward or backward. It rests where it is, content and unhurried. The calm you gathered from the depths does not leave you. It stays, spreading softly through your thoughts. There is comfort in knowing that beginnings and endings are not sharp edges, but smooth transitions. The earth has always moved this way, cycling without rush, returning without loss. You don't need to hold on to every image or idea. Whatever mattered has already settled into you. If this sense of gentle return feels soothing, you can simply stay here, letting your awareness drift like a slow tide. There is nothing new to prepare for, nothing left to do. The journey has given you exactly what you need. And as this quiet return continues, the calm becomes so familiar that it feels like it has always been there. In that familiarity, rest deepens naturally, and the story prepares to close its eyes, ready to begin again whenever you drift back to it. Now, there is nothing left to follow and nothing left to imagine. The journey has done its work quietly, without effort, without asking you to stay alert. Everything that needed to slow down already has. The earth beneath you remains steady, and the calm you've gathered rests naturally in your body. This is a gentle reminder that you don't need to hold on to the story anymore. You don't need to listen closely or remember what came before. The calm does not depend on attention. It stays even when awareness softens, even when thoughts fade into the background. Just like the planet's core, it continues without being watched. As you lie here, breathing slow and easy, notice how little effort rest actually requires. Sleep does not need to be forced. It arrives when the body feels safe, supported, and unhurried. And right now, everything around you suggests that it is safe to let go. If you find yourself still listening, that's perfectly fine. And if you drift in and out, that's fine too. There is no correct way for this moment to unfold. The earth below you does not judge how still you are. It simply holds you. You might feel your thoughts becoming softer, less defined, like shapes dissolving in low light. This is not something to notice too closely. Just allow it to happen. Calm knows the way forward without guidance. And as this reminder settles in, the night grows quieter. The distance between thoughts widens. The body grows heavier in the most comfortable way. Somewhere between listening and sleeping, everything finds its place. And when you're ready, without deciding to be ready, the calm carries you gently onward, into rest, into silence, into sleep. Even as everything grows quiet, the earth does not turn away. It keeps listening in its own timeless way, not with ears or attention, but with presence. Long after thoughts fade and breathing deepens, the planet continues its slow, patient awareness, holding every layer, every movement, every moment exactly where it belongs. The world does not sleep all at once. Somewhere, oceans are moving gently. Somewhere, warmth is drifting upward through stone. Somewhere deep below, the core remains calm and steady, unchanged by the passing of hours. This quiet listening has never stopped. It was here before the first life stirred, and it will remain long after every surface sound has faded. As you rest now, you are part of that listening, not actively, not consciously, but naturally. Your body responds to the same rhythms the planet follows. Slow, steady, safe. There is no need to stay awake to be included. Even in sleep, you remain held within this awareness. This thought often brings a final sense of peace. You are not disappearing when you fall asleep. You are simply resting within something that continues without effort. The earth does not lose you when you drift. It keeps you gently, patiently, without expectation. If your mind is still here, that's fine. And if it has already begun to drift away, that's fine too. The listening does not depend on you staying present. It exists quietly, supporting rest, allowing silence to deepen. The layers below remain calm. The surface above remains still. The night continues its slow unfolding, and somewhere between thought and dream, the earth keeps listening, steady and unchanged, as you slip gently into sleep, carried by a world that never lets go. As the night settles fully around you, there is nothing more to reach for and nothing left to follow. The story can gently fade now, the way the day fades into evening, without edges or effort. Everything that needed to be said has already found its place, resting quietly beneath your awareness. The earth continues as it always has, slow and patient, carrying warmth, memory, and balance deep within itself. You don't need to stay with the sound of this voice. You don't need to listen for meaning. The calm you've been drifting through does not disappear when the words grow quiet. It stays steady and familiar, like the ground beneath you. If sleep is already arriving, let it come naturally. And if you are still awake, that is perfectly fine too. There is no rush in either direction. The night is wide, and the planet beneath you remains calm and unchanging, offering the same support whether you are dreaming or simply resting. You can let your attention soften now, the way light softens at dusk. Breathing becomes slower, thoughts become lighter, the distance between moments stretches gently, without pressure. Nothing needs to be held onto. Nothing needs to be remembered. And if you return to this place again another night, it will be here just as calm, just as steady. The earth does not forget. It does not hurry. It simply continues, quietly listening, quietly holding. For now you can rest. Let the sound fade. Let the stillness deepen. Let sleep arrive when it's ready. Good night.